Good morning, everyone. Jeanette Biro here. I'm a medium and a channeler, and welcome to your weekday daily card reading where we dive into the cards, see what's in store with a message from Spirit. Sorry, I had two jumpers there, and then Spirit was ready to come in, and I was like, just hold on a second. So that tells me they're chomping at the bit for messages. Fair point. Okay, they're saying, can we just come through real quick first? So I have two jumpers here, which I'm going to share with you in a minute, and then I'll finish pulling. But let me just tune into what their message is. They're saying urgency is the key here, but they're saying urgency in a really good thing. Okay, so they're saying that this week, they're saying take advantage of the alignments that happen upon your path. Don't miss the opportunities and don't miss the boat to act on the alignments that happen this week, because there are hugely beautiful alignments happening from the 5th to the 8th. And that's why they're wanting to bring this through. And these alignments are going to provide a very clear path for some or many of the manifestations we're bringing into the world right now. So they're saying take advantage of those alignments. I was just asking them, like, what does that look like? And they're saying in the synchronistic events that happen, in the divine meetings of people that happen, in the divine connections that come into play, maybe a job offer, maybe an opportunity to move. And a big piece in that is your clear communication. Okay, interesting. All right, Spirit. Well, let's finish pulling the cards. For this week, I'm using the Awakening Avalon Oracle deck that we created at Avalon Spirit. So if you are loving this deck, there are links to it in the description box below. Okay, let's see. What are the rest? Oh, well okay, I'm going to even go backwards here. So the reason why I say this makes so much sense, Spirit is saying there's an urgency, take advantage of the situations. We have the Swan card, or the Swan Dive card. And this says be daring, which essentially is when the energy is right and the resonance is there, dive in. This is a week to dive in, step forward, make your move, speak up, share your voice, do the thing, take the action on some of the beautiful alignments that come forward. This is they're showing me like another kind of pull of the zip tie where something gets locked into place. There's another part that gets locked into place this week. And again, that can be in various different ways for you. So that might not just be in a very physical way, but it may be in an opportunity to really release something. Maybe an old narrative that just, you're like, I'm done with this. And so maybe you make a ceremony or some sort of ritual in releasing it for good, right? There's another like step up that is happening. So going back now to the jumper cards, some of the key pieces this week in helping you in those alignments, first of all, are boundaries. It says set your boundaries, allow yourself to say no. This is so key because in some of the alignments that might come up, maybe opportunities or options. So you may not just have one alignment, you may have a few. And in that, you still always get to exert your authority on it. So even with this alignment, say something comes up and you're like, I don't know. Part of the action is not only a yes, but is also a no. So it doesn't mean you have to force yourself into something that maybe you're not ready for or you don't want to do. If the alignment or the resonance isn't there, you absolutely get to say no or put distance or whatever that may be. Set your boundaries. Now that also plays into, say you get a job offer. It's not about just blindly taking the offer. It's also going through what is presented and finding your own parameters in there. So that might be that you negotiate a bigger wage or a certain amount of days off or expectations, all of that. It's really about like using your voice to create the parameters for you within these offers so that when you are swan diving, you're swan diving into something that is within your comfort zone. Now, when I say comfort zone, our comfort zone can be also pushed to the max, meaning you're starting to edge on the points of like, I don't know. And the example I'm being given of that is like performing on stage, right? There is a buzz and there's a nervousness that comes with performing on stage. And every time that I'm backstage waiting to go on, there's this kind of edge of like pushing out of my comfort zone, because although I'm happy to be on stage and I enjoy it, I also do really enjoy my own quiet time. And so in that transition to being on stage, there's this push to the very edges of what I'm comfortable with that I have to kind of push through, but it's still within the realm of what I'm willing to do. If there's something beyond that realm, well, that's where I'm going to have a hard boundary. So kind of consider what that might be for you. Now, the next card that's coming up in the jumpers, as well as we got the boundaries, but we also have clairaudience. And this says, listen to spirit. There are spirit messages wanting to come through. And I feel that this isn't just clairaudience specific, meaning clear hearing spirit. This is really in the receiving of the messages. Because what's interesting is we also got the meditate card. And the meditate card says, take time to go within. So this is really asking us to take time to listen to spirit in the many ways that spirit can come through. I think this is really, really important. So taking that time to step back for a moment and tune in when these alignments happen to feel, is this within my resonance? Do I have boundaries set up in here? Do I need to set up boundaries? Can I extend my boundaries or push them back a little bit for them to still be in my comfort zone? Like really be an active participant in it, so that again, when you swan dive, you're not being shoved off a cliff. You are purposefully swan diving with grace into your next phase. So what you say and what you think goes a long way, but also there's a lot of communication from spirit that can happen in meditation, in your dream state, in different messages, symbols, number patterns, all of that to help you with this movement this week from today until the 8th. A lot of movement. This is so interesting. The other thing that this card is actually reminding me of is many of you in the comments have mentioned seeing orbs when some of my videos are on. Orbs definitely do happen. There is a lot of spirit happening around me. Sometimes orbs can be kind of flecks of dust and stuff, but there's other times where orbs are literally moving around in a different kind of pattern, and that can very well be spirit energy. Some of you mentioned the fireplace. The interesting thing about the fireplace is it goes on and off based on heat. And when it reaches a certain heat level, it actually turns itself off. So there isn't kind of a magic hocus pocus thing happening in my fireplace, although it looks like it definitely does, but it just has to do with the heat setting. And sometimes it gets temperamental and it turns on and off. So that's what that is. But the orbs can most definitely be spirit. So I love that that's kind of echoed in here because it is something that I wanted to mention. So yeah, I will leave that with you all for your message today. What an interesting start to what's going to be a very active week. I do want to say too that we're stepping into an energy that on the weekend already will be an energy of like a kickoff. And I know that there's football and all of that happening, but this is like, we are setting the parameters this week of these action potentials for the kickoff energy of what will happen come this weekend. So I find that really interesting. Anyways, I will leave that with all of you. I do also want to invite you on Wednesday night. I will be hosting the Lightworker Mentorship Open Group. And so what that is for an hour we will meet. And if you want to try your hand at your own spiritual gifts, tuning in an open circle, anyone can join regardless of skill. We will go through some mediumship exercises of tuning in, feeling your guides, getting into that deep heart space. It's a lot of fun. You can share your experiences there as well. So if you're interested in that, you can sign up at avalonspirit.com. And I really hope to see you there. So thank you again, as always. Check out the podcast today. It's a great conversation with Kevin Semenyuk, our resident modern day shaman at Avalon Spirit. So join that, check that out, and like and subscribe. So thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.